Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm pleased to announce that I'm going to be covering the 2026 Chess.com Daily Chess Championship. It started now. I mean, you had to get in at the first, I'm pretty sure. I was going to say, or you could just jump into it, but anybody can. It's not because like I'm good or anything. On the first round, there are a lot of lower rated opponents that I'm playing against, and for their privacy, just because it's lower rated opponents, some of the games are kind of pretty one-sided. I decided to blot out the names, so hopefully you won't be able to see those. But yeah, without further ado, I want to review those games. A lot of really neat games to show here, so let's go. Make sure we're up and good to go. Yes. Okay, so with the first game, I played against a person named... No, I'm just kidding. That would be pretty funny. So I'm playing e4, and they play the Alekines. So I'm not looking at this stuff over here, but yeah, we're just going to move on here. So this, as far as I know, is not a move. I just decided, like, I've played different things here to where I try and kick them around. I found that, like, if they play accurately, they can end up, you know, not letting you get anything on them necessarily. So I decided to just develop as if a ridiculous move hadn't been played, and I'll beat them on development. So we played this, and then unfortunately this the opponent, and I'm just gonna make sure that, yeah, that we are not showing the opponent's name. The opponent blundered. So this would work, I guess, potentially if my knight wasn't here, but the knight is there, and then unfortunately this once again was not the way to take, and then we end up with this position. Okay, so this this opponent is 446, so you have these differences, and so just to continue with the game here, this is a very common tactic, having the knight here and then making this check, because either the king has to move, or even if there's a knight and a bishop right here, it doesn't matter. None of those pieces can block this diagonal, so usually the pawn has to move, and then you take with the knight. And so, you know, I believe my opponent, you know, saw that potentially if they take, they hang their rook, but unfortunately moving the queen just does the same thing, except for with a discovery. So we just go here, and then from this point on, it's a bit of a bloodbath. But, you know, here we're just like, for example, right here, you know, you still got to make sure you're not blundering. Like, the rook is hanging, you know, so this game could go a different direction quickly. So we go like this, and then we just check the king, and then finish it with checkmate. We could have taken the knight. We could have tried to trap the queen. You know, I'm at this point in my chess career, I'm all about trying to be efficient, because sometimes that's the difference between whether you win or lose. So it was a nice game there, and I'm not going to look up the accuracy because it'll bring up a whole different can of worms. But okay, so let's move on to the next game. This was against the same opponent, and they played a Trumpowski. I figured probably in all likelihood there wasn't going to be much theory involved, but so we played like this. Already moving back is a mistake. First off, you didn't move it out to move it back, because you could have just moved it there and saved a move and like developed your knight or something, although that necessarily wouldn't be the best move. But anyways, this blocks in the ability of your queen and your bishop to develop naturally. So you're already behind, unfortunately. And so I wonder, do I have a... yeah, I don't know if there's like a... if I have the analysis turned off. It's probably because I'm not in game review, but that's fine. So they went out like this, like Queen's Gambit style. And I I just bolstered the pawn. We take, and then at this point, you know, the fact that we're not developed in this way really starts being a problem for them. And I opted just to go for this, where they have tripled pawns, and everything has trouble getting out, really. Since they did not take... yeah, actually, they couldn't have taken my queen, so I opted to go here. I thought that was a really nice move because it actually forces a winning of the queen. So we did that, and yeah, from here we just kind of, you know, you got to make sure not to blunder the queen, even though you feel like the board's so open and you're so far ahead. You got to not do that. So we went here. We took the free pawn. We went check. We got this pawn out. There's a lot of ways to do this, but like I don't want to trade for, you know, my rook for the bishop and then just have one less piece. I'm just trying to be efficient once again. And it was check and mate. So 2 moves as opposed to like 10 if you do it otherwise. So now these last 2 games, I just want to say, are actually pretty cool. This one, if I'm not mistaken, yes. So this one, actually, I played the Traxler, which is like a new thing I'm trying to do because I just want to get away from playing the Carl Con all the time. So they tried to fried liver me, and I go here, which is like, oh, whoa, that's crazy because, you know, we got this coming in, and you just don't see it, right? Because you suck. But no, that's the thing. It's like tricky. You see this coming, you just don't do anything about it. Now, this, I believe, is the best move. Is this? Yeah, so they played this, and you got to go up like this. And then, and then I believe this is actually theory to go back here, and then you build up because you're basically starting the attack. You're going to use the open F file in the future. He comes in here, and this is actually a mistake because you just go here with your queen. You can do it different ways. Actually, no, I think right there you have to move your queen. But like I think on the last move here, you could have already went here, but this I think is more accurate, I found. And then so once the rook is taken over to the side, you hit him with the haymaker. You hit him with the bishop to f2. My opponent did not even take. If they do, I mean, this is honestly like, I guess probably even worse, maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked that far. But yeah, I was really proud of myself for finding the best move. This is actually like, even though it's only saying 1, yeah, it may change during game review. Even though it only says 1 brilliant, and I'm pretty sure that was the last move. When I game reviewed, this actually was called a brilliant as well because it's still hanging. But it's just like, we're just making it to where like once that king takes and I do this discovery, it's going to be like game over immediately. That's what I'm going for. So I take here, he takes, and then finally I found that with a very quick and easy review, I found that this is mate in 2. So pretty cool stuff. Traxler, you know, we're losing rooks and not even caring. You know, not like Karen, like, you know, like the haircut, but, and then for the last game, and I wish on YouTube, like the thing to where I can turn videos into shorts was working right now. YouTube, what's up? I don't know. But this last game needs to be made into a video of its own. This is the single best way a game can be ended. It just occurred to me my light's probably going to turn off soon. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Let's start it. Without further ado, let's get into it. So they play with this. Now, I've run into this a few times. My opponent here is 786. I think they might be higher rated, like on other formats. I am not positive. But anyways, they start with this, which is like, I don't know, my thing's not showing what this is, but I've done this. I've played this wrong multiple times before. And then you get your knight out, and then they hit you, and then you're over here, and then like you're in a bad position in no time flat because you're not used to playing like that. It's stupid. So I remembered that I believe I remembered that this, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't have game review up, I think this is one of the most accurate ways to play. If not, it's just solid, right? So we're just playing, and at this point, you know, he's giving up a pawn for no reason. That's kind of 700, you know, talking a little bit. But so here I make a nice little move, knight to b4, forcing just, you know, the winning of a pawn. Now here is where like I started to really get like just bloodthirsty. I could take with this knight, but what about taking with this knight? There's no, I have to have two attackers on one of these for it to be dangerous for me right now, especially with this pawn about to fall. Like I could always bring in another pawn or something. But as of right now, these two knights, whenever I do this, they are the only thing defending each other. So it's like kind of living on a razor's edge. But like things are going to get hairy really fast, and they both are defended. Like you've got to just calculate like that. So I come here. The idea is that the queen, well, actually, I got to think back. I don't know if I was going to just try and hang on to this pawn really long, or if I was going to, I think I was going to come here, and then this was going to be my idea. And like by that time, the queen would have had to move somewhere, and maybe that queen will be attacked by this knight fork. Okay, well, at this point in time, after going here and the queen going here, I realized that this actually just straight up traps the queen. Now, the funny thing about this position is that he takes the pawn, which is not the the highest value piece that's left here. He could have taken a knight, but you know, it doesn't matter. You know, I think we all know it doesn't matter at this point. So they take. You know, he did get two pawns, I suppose. And I go here. King is pushed to here. We check. We discover check. They block with the pawn. And drum roll. Oh, I just got to simmer in this moment. En passant checkmate. I got to turn this video off because I'm going to cry. Thanks for watching, everybody. And you're welcome.